Hey, you guys, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you are doing well today. I know this is a very challenging time. What I'm really grateful for is to have the opportunity to spend together exploring our spirituality, remembering the bigger picture of what's going on, and just finding some respite from what we are experiencing in 3D, okay? Which is probably one of the most challenging things we've ever experienced for our generation, whoever is watching, at this period of time. So, that being said, we are going to ask my spirit guides questions on soul contracts today, just in general, okay? We've done several different episodes on Trump's soul contract, and those were very interesting and very enlightening. In fact, it might be helpful for many people to go back and listen to those from time to time if you are finding yourself being challenged in a way that you need perspective, okay? So those are very helpful. I will post them here and here. So here and there, parts 1 and part 2. So today, though, what we have not done with the SGs is ask them more broad questions about soul contracts. And so people had a lot of questions. We've gathered those questions and they are right in front of me, and I am going to ask my spirit guides once I turn the TV off. There we go. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Karen, and I use these as one of the things I do on the channel to ask my spirit guides for information. We can only ask yes or no questions, but I could tease out things. The more I kind of, you get one layer of yes or no, and you can ask another question, okay? It just depends on what I know to ask. But we do call outs to the community for specific topics, and we just collect anytime somebody has questions, we collect them on the channel, okay, in the comments. So if you have questions here, we're going to actually, we have enough questions for 2 parts. This one, I'm going to answer 20 questions, and then I'll do a part 2 that will be up in a couple days. Okay, so watch for that. Then if you have more questions, then we'll go ahead and keep doing this specific topic. Okay, so soul contracts is what we're talking about today. If you are new here, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what's going on here because I do that in some intro videos that I have in the Start Here playlist in the channel. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I will give some basic introduction here. So the first thing I'm going to do is say a little prayer. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. Hey, you guys. I'm talking to my spirit guides. That's their hello. How's it going today? Nice. All right. So the questions in front of me, are you comfortable answering those questions for whoever is going to be listening to this? Yes. Do you think it would be helpful for us to know this information? Yes. Okay. So you're going to notice on the screen we have a yes and a no right here. That's just an overlay that I put on after I'm done recording so that you can, it's easier for you to kind of keep track. For those of you who are just listening, I'm conscious. Sometimes I might forget, but I'm trying to remember to say out loud what the answer is. And the last thing I wanted to mention, because this gets brought up every once in a while, you're going to notice actually 2 things. You're going to notice that if you see other people using dowsing rods, my spirit guides answer a different way. Okay, some people's spirit guides will say yes, or yes, they cross over, and no. Mine just don't do that. I think it takes a lot of energy for them to get back here. And some people's will just like whip back there, but it has to do with my energy and their energy and all that. So we have established a different way, which is totally fine. There's no one right way. Okay. Let me just ask them, is there one right way for anyone to get answers from their spirit guides? No. Okay. The other thing you're going to notice is see how they're saying they're waving no here. But you notice how the other one is still moving a little bit? Okay. That looks way more on your end up here than it does for me back here. Okay. And I can feel the energy shifting. I can feel the way they're moving. So sometimes they may not, like, you gonna say yes now? Okay, so they're saying yes. And I could tell they were, well, obviously I asked them to say yes, but I can tell when they're shifting from yes to no. But look at the no, it still looks like it's moving a little bit, right? I can ask them, from time to time to settle that down. But the thing is if you think about it, there's energy moving, right? And this one is free to move, but they're not moving it, but it's moving with the energy. Okay. So that's why you see that happen sometimes. So you'll just need to know that I know what they're saying. I know what answer they're giving, but most of the time you can tell it. Look at, you can tell that's definitely a yes, right? Even though the other one is moving a little bit. Okay. So it's just, you don't need, I wouldn't worry about it too much unless you're trying to, prove me wrong or something, which is fine if that's where your state of mind wants to be. I wouldn't put my energy into that though. So I wouldn't be doing this if this was not what I felt was accurate information. Okay. And I have been actually listening to some people talk about their spirit guides recently, how spirit guides do not. Okay. So we did a live last week and this one's in my head because it's so front and center, but the person who was just nominated or Hegsworth or whatever, Pete or whatever his name is, someone had asked if he was going to be confirmed, and the spirit guide said no last week. Okay, well, he was just confirmed. So over time, and the more I hear from other people who do this and have direct contact, they can hear and stuff. And it was a good reminder. I heard somebody say today, spirit guides don't lie. They just will never lie. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They don't lie. However, they answer in certain ways, one, depending on what the current energy is. So maybe the current energy was at that time that Pete was not going to be, he wasn't going to be confirmed. Okay, I don't know. Or that is what they wanted us to know at that time. So it's really hard to know that. All right. As a spiritual person and an empath, I'm quite gullible this way, but I am the kind of person who you have to tell me, you have to prove to me I can't trust you. I will trust you until you prove to me you can't trust. Okay. So there's other people who are the opposite of that. I won't trust you until you prove to me you're trustworthy. Okay. That is not my personality style and never will be. I'd rather live the other way. Okay. So I am at a point now with regardless whether they're right or wrong. See, of course they're right. This is spirit world we're talking about, right? They are right. So how we interpret or how we use the information is totally up to us. All right. So for me, my full faith and trust is in what they're telling us, that is what we needed to hear at this time. So you have to do what feels good to you. You have to move with this information. And that's why people say it's for entertainment purposes only, because it is. You got to and I always say what do I say? We're entertaining new ideas. Okay? So anyways, that was much longer of an intro that I intended to do. I will not do that long in number 2. I think it's been a couple days since I've done this, so with the rod, so I just felt like I needed to explain, or there's a lot of new people here too, so. Okay, so yeah, so it's just a matter of you placing your trust and where you feel most comfortable, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and start asking soul contracts, okay? About soul contracts. All right, and again, these are questions from the community. These are not questions that I had. I will ask additional questions if I feel like there's additional information that might be useful, or I'm just curious, okay? All right, so the first question, is the following understanding of soul contracts correct? Okay, so I am going to read this out loud so you can hear what we're trying to validate here. Okay, in our first incarnation, so can you guys stop swinging, please? Just confuse everybody. All right, in our first incarnation, the goal was to have all possible experiences. We create our own contracts and go have those experiences. Okay, so let's just stop there. So, is that correct that in our first incarnation, the goal is to have as many possible experiences? Is that true? Okay, so that part they're saying is not true, that the goal is not to have as many possible experiences. Okay, I see where this question is going. So let's just keep going. So we create our own contracts and go have those experiences. Is that correct? Okay, so we create our own soul contracts before we come to Earth, and then we come down to Earth or over to Earth or wherever and have those experiences. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. We die, then we pass on from this particular life we're having, or let's say our first life, and cross the experiences we had off the list. Is that correct? Okay. So yes, so that part is correct. So yes, when we do pass over, we cross and we're able to cross off the experiences. Okay. Then we rewrite our next contract and include different experiences for that lifetime and so on. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So for some reason, so is most of then that paragraph I just read to you, is most of that correct? Okay. Yeah, it was a great way to explain it. Whoever wrote that, that's great. So the thing is, the first part of it was in our first incarnation, the goal was to have as all possible experiences. Is that correct? Okay. So in our first incarnation, in each incarnation, we have specific experiences we want to have. Okay. So that was the only part that needed a little clarifying. All right. So it's not all possible experiences, but I get I get that. Like, go down, explore, and then come back and then get more specific. So it's like, just figure out, go for the first time, see it all, and then figure out how you want to get more specific. So that's the only part that they're disagreeing with. Okay, it's interesting. Okay, number 2, are souls and our higher self the same thing? The answer is yes. Number 3, is it accurate that the higher self and divine team create the soul contract for a particular incarnation? Oh, interesting. Let me just read that again. I got to make sure I understand it. Is it accurate that the higher self and divine team, okay, so you have your higher self and your divine team, which is your spirit guide, apparently 2 spirit guides and a guardian angel, as far as I can, is that correct? Wait, let me just ask them. So they have told us before that we each have 2 spirit guides. Every human being has 2 spirit guides. Is that correct? Okay, yes. So does each human being then also have a guardian angel? Okay, they start swinging that yes right away. Okay, so we are going to call them our divine teams, basically, in this question. Okay, yes. Okay, so our higher self and our divine teams create the soul contract for a particular incarnation. Yes. Okay, so I think I'm understanding this to mean like if there's a specific purpose, like let's just say MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., that was a very specific soul contract, correct? Come down and do something very particular. Yes. Okay. 45 is a very specific soul contract. Is that correct? Yes, to create disruption, all that kind of stuff. Okay, yes. Hitler was a very specific. Yes. The Pope, very specific. Yes. People like that. Okay, Gandhi, that sort of thing. Okay, so yes. So, do all of us have very specific particular incarnations then? No. Okay. So others also then come down for for less specific incarnations. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. All right. But we each, even though it's less specific, we each have a focus. Is that correct? Yes. And is each focus, are there any soul contracts that are exactly the same? No. Not even one, not even two? No. Okay. All right, number four. Is the soul contract similar to a blueprint for the individual life? Yes. However, the person has free will to choose. Oh, that's a good. However, the person has free will to choose the speed and scope. Yes. So they have free will to choose the speed of how fast they'll work through their blueprint. Yes. And they have free will of how far they'll go in their blueprint. Yes. Okay. All right. If we don't complete, before we pass, do we actually complete that blueprint always? Yes. Sometimes we don't fulfill it. Is there times where we don't fulfill it to the extent that we wished we would have? Yes. Okay. Then do we take part of that blueprint and put it onto the next one, essentially? Yes. Do we always do that? No. Okay. So there may be things in this blueprint that we were just like, we don't need to do, we don't need to go there anymore. Do we do that kind of decision making? Okay, yes. Okay. That's fascinating. Hang on, I'm starting to get warm sitting next to the fire. Fire. Okay. I'd sing more if YouTube wouldn't get me for copyright, so you're lucky. All right. I love that song though. If you even know which song I'm talking about, let me know if you know what song I'm talking about. All right. Let's see. Number five, are souls and spirits the same thing? Oh, we already asked that. I'm way down here. Wait a minute. Is it possible? So, okay. Oh, that's funny. I think I bounced. I went to five and then back up to four or something. Okay. Number six, is it possible for one soul to reincarnate as more than one person at the same time? Yes, and we've talked about that in other episodes. The wide swing. Yes. So there's a higher self, and the higher self can break off into individual souls and have more than one experience at the same time, basically. Yes. Cool. Look how powerful we are, you guys. Okay, number seven. Are doppelgangers, the best word in the whole world, by the way, are doppelgangers a real phenomenon? I actually have a very good doppelganger story. If yes, so the answer is yes. If yes, are they the split of the person's higher self? Seriously? They're saying yes. That is, okay, that's freaky. Because I had a doppelganger. I saw my mom's doppelganger probably like 6 years after she died in a restaurant, just casually sitting like over there. I filmed her and everything. She didn't know it. I was going to go up to her too, but it was freaky. I mean, the way she even moved her body, the way she talked, it was the way I mean, it was just unbelievable. Anyways, okay, so let me just be clear about this. So if yes, so let's just ask about that experience. So the doppelganger that I saw of Betsy, my mom, in the restaurant during COVID. Well, not during COVID, but you know, yes. I think it was like 2021 or something. Uh, are you saying that that person in that restaurant was the soul of that person was also part of the higher self of Betsy? What? Yes. Okay, I'm not sure you understood what I just asked, but they get it. All right. If yes, does this mean that one soul is living two lives? Oh, no. Okay. So they're separate souls. Is that correct? They're separate souls. Oh, I guess I didn't ask. Wait, are souls and higher self the same thing? Oh, okay. That actually was a separate question, you guys. I thought it was on there. Are souls and spirits the same thing? Okay. That's a separate question. Well, here's the thing, you guys. I'm talking to you, and now I'm talking to you. So, souls and our higher self are the same thing, you said. Okay, but when your higher self breaks into two different souls, let's say, and they're having an incarnation at the same time or at different times, those are considered two different souls. Oh, okay. So those are two different souls, even though you have the same higher self. Okay, I don't know. I guess the answer is yes to that, to both of those. All right, so we did ask about the souls and the higher self are the same thing, but are souls and spirits the same thing? Let me just clarify. So they're saying no, but let me just clarify. So are souls on earth and spirits the same thing? No. I don't know how to clarify this. So spirits, so souls and spirits, how are they different? I don't know how to clarify this. Souls and spirits. Huh. So when we consider our spirit guides, correct? We each have spirit guides? Yes. Are those spirit guides just individual souls? Yes. And so is there really anything is there really anything that's like spirit? No. Are all of these words just like the way humans describe everything? Yes. So we don't have these kind of descriptions on the other side? No. Okay. Okay. So you don't have like, how do you guys communicate if you don't have a language? Is your communication through feeling only? Okay, yes. Okay. So there's not like, you don't call each other by name or anything like that. No. Okay. So are all these words, soul, spirits, higher self, and all that, is this just semantics? Yes. Do you find that humans get caught up in the semantics of this rather than focusing on kind of what's really important? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, which is really how you're feeling, how you feel. That's what's really important. That's your intuition. Okay. Which it really is amazing because that's how they communicate on the other side is just through feeling, so that makes sense then that would be our intuition as well. Is that true? Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry I can't really get to the bottom of that. Are souls and spirits the same thing? So let me ask again. Are souls and spirits the same thing? So they're saying no, and for some reason I can't get my head wrapped around that. So if you guys have clarifying questions, we can certainly ask. All right, number 6, and maybe I've already gotten to the root of it. I'm not sure. You'll have to tell me. A lot of times when I'm deep in the reading of questions and thinking about things to ask them or feeling about things to ask them, I can't even remember what I asked. So that's just kind of how my intuition works. So, okay, number 6. Is it possible for one soul? Okay, we asked that one. Okay, doppelganger. Okay. All right. See what I mean? Like I get a little. That's okay though. I'm okay with that. I know it can get confusing for some people who are watching because this is it just is an intuitive process. That's just the way it is. So, okay, number 8. Is it possible for a soul contract to include becoming a ghost? Good question. Yes. What? Okay. Okay, well now I got a gazillion questions about that. So we're going to do a separate section on ghosts, you guys. I think in our next live, which is coming up this week. So, okay, we're going to do a different one on ghosts. And then if you have follow-up questions, like if you don't hit the live and you have follow-up questions, then we'll do another one. Okay. So we'll just wait on that. So I guess it is possible to add in a soul contract that you become a ghost. Yes. Okay. All right. I hope it's not my soul contract. Is it in my soul contract to become a ghost after when I pass? No? Okay, good. Now you all want to know, right? Oh gosh. Okay. Not that it's a bad thing. We'll find out about ghosts more this week. All right, number 9. Is it part of the parent's soul contract when their child commits suicide? Yes. And so before the parents, the parents' higher self and the child and everybody has gotten together prior, correct? And they have planned on having this experience together. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. And they are well aware of how horrific the experience is going to be as them as human beings. Is that correct? Yes. Is that for them? Are they excited about having this experience before they come down to Earth? Yes. I'm only asking these things because these are things I've heard. Other, like people have NDEs or people who have crossed, spiritual people who can hear. So that's why I know to ask some of this stuff. So they're quite excited as souls because they know that how much it's going to expand, how much they're going to evolve spiritually. Okay. So yes. So I know that totally sucks, but here's the thing, is your soul is like, yes, because you get to have an experience that is going to basically, can you consider it, I'm asking the SGs, can you consider it an experience that will bring you closer to God, basically? Yes. Okay. Okay, well, the follow-up was, if no, is it solely the child's soul contract? So let's just ask that, okay? So when a child commits suicide, is it solely in the child's soul contract? No. Is it in, okay, so is it in the sibling's soul contract if they have a sibling? Yes. Is it in the friend's soul contract to be friends with someone who might commit suicide? Okay, it's a little bit slower energy, so they kind of stopped there. So does it go beyond? Does the soul contract experience of somebody who commits suicide, is that go beyond the immediate nuclear family? Okay, so no. So that's why they didn't answer that. Okay, so it's really within the nuclear family. Okay, so yes. Okay. And all the souls within that nuclear family have decided that this is an experience they want to have? Yes. Okay. Big love to anybody who's had that experience. It's still, when you cross over, you'll be very, very glad about it. But yeah, no, that's still, still big hugs and big love to you. Sending lots and lots of big love to you. Okay, number 10. Does someone's disability get decided in their soul contract? Yes. Okay. Does any kind of disability we might have get decided in a soul contract? Whoops, my hand kind of jerked. Can we ask that again? My hand just kind of went like that. And sometimes they actually do that, but I don't know for sure. So I just want to ask again. So any disability that we have, learning disability, physical disability, a mental disability, anything like that, all of them, we have like 5 of them. Are they all decided in the soul contract? Yes. Are there any disabilities that we might obtain on Earth due to unknown circumstances? Okay, they're already saying no. That's not in the soul contract? No. Okay. All right. And so any disability, chronic pain, life without chronic pain. I mean, we can go positive here too. All of that is determined. Is that correct? Okay. Yes. And so, okay. All right. Number 11. I gotta get my fingers are getting a little crampy. Number 11. Do people who choose evil in their soul contracts understand how much harm they may cause? Oh. I did not expect that. I did not expect a no. Wow. I expect them to say yes. If no, did their free will or did their free will and human ego take it further than they anticipated? Yes. Okay. I did not, again, most of the time I kind of am aware just because of my spiritual journey and how much I've heard people talk about, but I didn't expect that one. I expected them to say, yeah, they're aware they're doing it to help humanity or something. Okay. When there's someone who says, like, let's just say 45 has agreed to be a disruptor, right? That's his role, is to be a disruptor, is what they've told us. Okay, yes. So the level of disruption, though, the cruelty, the non-compassionate, unfeeling, narcissistic, all that, was that to that degree planned in his soul contract? No. Okay. And so that was his free will then and his ego? Yes. Okay. All right.